I'm here amongst the pigs at Fieldgate Flowers because this week's episode is a little bit different to usual. This week, I wanted to come to you here from Fieldgate Flowers, the home of the famous Roz Chandler. And Sip and Sew for me was always about those intimate conversations that you guys never normally get to hear with some of your favourite horticultural people. Lots of you will know that I've become super close to Roz over the past year, and I thought it was about time I let you in on one of our conversations. Lots of you have seen snippets on Instagram and know that we love to have a laugh, but we also love to have those meaningful conversations, and a lot has happened for Roz over the last year. So I wanted to sit down with her and chat about it all, everything she's learned, all the challenges she's overcome and still facing, but challenging head on. So I hope you'll indulge me with this one because I think it's going to be pretty special. Welcome to the Sip and Sew podcast.
We're sipping and we're sewing.
Yes. Well, we're not sewing just yet, but we are in all of the fields of flowers behind us. So, firstly, I mean, I don't know who out of any of my followers or listeners won't know who you are, let's be honest. But I can't believe it's taken me this long to have you on the podcast, to be honest.
Last on the list.
Yeah, well, I don't want to say. But tell everyone who might not know who you are, who you are and what you do.
Okay, I'm Roz Chandler and I head up Fieldgate Flowers, which is a flower farm just based outside Milton Keynes, and I've been flower farming for 15 years.
What made you do it 15 years ago?
Oh gosh, we bought this derelict kind of house. My husband's a builder with great aspirations of turning it into something. It has taken 15 years. I hope he's not listening to this, but it has. And
still going.
Still going, yeah. Still workers here today. And we bought it with a bit of land. Had 5 acres with it. And we thought, and I think that land should be put to good use. And I thought, what am I going to do? And we got some pigs and some chickens. And then goats came much later. But then I went on a half-day cutting patch course. And bear in mind, I don't know anything about flowers at this stage. I didn't come from a horticultural background. I grew up in a new town. Gardening wasn't something my parents did. They both went out to work. And so I wasn't one of these people who could say that I was in my grandma's garden and that's where it all came from. It absolutely did not. I had a great love of outdoors and I had a great love of the land, but not particularly flowers. So typically I go on a course and then I think, okay, I can do this. I can have a flower farm. And it was a hobby. It was an absolute hobby. We started with 3 raised beds, 3 meters by 1 meter, and I threw some seeds in and they grew. And I thought, okay, we can do this. And then it was really slow in the beginning years. It was never really meant to be a big business. I had a full-time job as a sales and marketing director.
It was originally. Was it even that?
It wasn't even that.
No.
I think we did a few weddings, and I remember the first wedding we ever did, and it was quite funny. 15 years ago, and I think, it was definitely a side hustle, and it was very small, and it just, the pun grew and grew. Became quite addictive.
Literally, until now you're obsessed.
Completely obsessed.
Did you think it would get to that point back then?
No, absolutely not. No, I had sort of visions of no, because there weren't really many flower farmers around at that point. So it wasn't something that you could aspire to and think, I want to be like that. There were a few, but not many. And I didn't think you could actually make any money out of flower farming. So no, I carried on being a sales marketing director. What
was the turning point though, when you then thought, I can make money out of it, I want to do it, I enjoy it?
It came about, I suppose, properly. I mean, we were building more and more and more, and we had a team. But about 5 years ago, I would say, where every year we kept getting a bit more land, taking a bit more land to the field, and my husband saying, well, how much are you taking? And then we'd have another polytunnel. We've now got 3, soon to be 4 on Monday. But I think then, once the team was in place, And then it just escalates, and then we were doing at that point 40 weddings a year, and we were doing farewell blooms, and we were delivering to florists, and things started to escalate. But I think, and then we had lots and lots of diverse income, so we started to do a podcast, we started to write books, we started to have online training, we started to teach people how to do sales and marketing and apply it to farming businesses. So all of it added up to the point at which I could jump from my sales marketing job.
Are you glad that you did?
Yeah,
now?
100%. I am completely and utterly unemployable, and nobody would employ me to do anything, I'm sure. And I 100% made the right decision at the right time. I transitioned, if you like, out of full-time employment into this, because this takes some investments. You've got to have some money in the bank before you jump. And there's no going back for me.
So tell anyone who doesn't really understand what flower farming is, what is it actually that you do here?
Okay, so if you take a whole year, and people say to us, oh, surely you're not doing anything in the winter, but actually our winter months are the busiest. So you're planning what you're going to grow for the whole of next year. So we would start that now, and we would walk around the farm and go, okay, well, who are we going to sell to, how much of it we're going to sell, at what price, and start to plan very strategically what's worth growing and what's not worth growing. So we look at things and we go, that didn't give us a return on investment, so how many stems did I get out of that dahlia? Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? So we plan the whole of 2025 now, and then by the end of August we'll be planting up in tunnels, both directly in this new tunnel that's arriving, and also in the tunnel we've got, we'll be doing seeds and nurturing them over the winter. And that's a big job. That's a really big job, because we need to be ready in March, ready to go. So there's an awful lot of planning, if you like, about what you're going to grow and why you're growing it. It isn't just you can grow what you like. You need to grow what you can sell, honestly. So yeah, it's a full-time job 12 months of the year. And then you have to bear in mind that in the winter you don't have any revenue. So you have to have a revenue plan which makes sure that you make enough money in the summer it's a bit like a seasonal job, because you've still got all the staff in the winter, and you need more staff in the winter. So you just got to, it's a strategic, flower farming is strategic, and a lot of planning and lots of Excel spreadsheets and lots of purchasing and negotiating. And then it's about getting in the ground and being a good grower. And then it's about selling them. So I think you have to be a bit of everything.
So it's not really just dancing around in a gingham dress with lots of flowers in your arms then, like it seems on Instagram, no?
No, I have got a gingham dress, and I have done some dancing around in it. Lots. But no, if you do that, you're going to get thorns on your legs and you're going to get bitten to death, number one. And number two, no, it's physically, honestly, really tough. So I mean, on the land, there are 5 of us, and in the summer we have students and we have some other. So just today, there were 6 people working, physically weeding, digging, moving. So physically, you've got to be quite fit. And then no, it's definitely not prancing around. I mean, picking and conditioning flowers to get to market to sell is an art. And all the different flowers have to be picked and conditioned differently. And when do you do that? And how do you do that? And who are you selling them to? There's, honestly, I think 80% of it's marketing and 20% is growing.
And
Very
speaking
little.
of the marketing, since the last year or so, you've done quite well on Instagram, haven't you?
I have,
With
yeah.
Not dancing around in gingham dresses.
No,
we
I've
should
not
say.
been. I have not jumped in and out of things and done lots of transitions. Just been really steady, really consistent. We had 25,000 followers this time last year, probably, but it maybe even a bit less. And we have just consistently posted, and now we're almost posting 5 days of the week, and we're at nearly 200,000. Nearly. So we'll be having a £200,000 party. And I think it's about knowing your audience and what content they want to have. And again, we're back to marketing again. What content? What's your content plan? What are you going to talk about? What are you going to make? And so there's an awful lot that goes into being a successful flower farmer.
Yes, I think, well, with any of the people that have come on as horticultural guests, obviously there's a lot that's about the growing and the knowledge and that side of things, but one of the things that, since I've worked in the industry more and more, that you realise is that none of that's any good if you don't have a good marketing plan, business plan, strategy behind it, because how are you going to sell that stuff, or who's going to buy it, or who's going to work with you?
Yeah, and it's a product that depreciates. So those red roses over there, if I don't sell them next week, they're not here the week after.
That's one of the hardest things I've found with horticulture is because it's so fast.
So it's
so
like,
seasonal.
it must be like cake baking, I suppose. No, not
Well,
even
yeah,
that, because I suppose
but
you
you
only
know
make-
you're going to make a
make
cake
a
at least
cake.
to order.
I suppose it's like any other depreciating product. You got to get it off the shelves and you got to sell it fast. And I think that's my Sunday job. My Sunday job is to walk around and go, okay, what have we got and what are we going to sell next week, and make sure I make lots of lists and make sure, you know, how many stems does that person need? How many stems? Right, have I got enough in that colour? And I plan the week ahead, and then I make sure I've sold it all. So a flower farmer should have no flowers. So if you see any now, honestly, they're not there. They're just fake. They're plastic. No.
Right.
Okay. We need to be selling.
We'll sell a few more later.
Next, yeah.
If you had one big tip for people who are thinking about becoming a flower farmer or who are already, what would your one thing be?
I think if they're going to be one, or thinking of being one, you need to go and work on one. You need to go volunteer somebody locally, go and get involved. Decide if you're going to be just a pure flower farmer or whether you're going to be a flower farmer florist, in which case you need both skills. So go and see if you like it. Go and work with people and see if that's what you really want to do. I'd do that for at least 6 months for a year.
Do a week with Roz, that'll put you off.
Anyone welcome. Come here, that will really put you off. And then, so I'd do that first, if you were thinking of doing it.
Yeah, that's a good shout, yeah.
And then I would also transition out of a job and make sure you've got the money for an investment, because in your first year it's going to be tough. So you don't want to be worrying about the bills as well as worrying about, shall I buy a polytunnel or where's my compost coming from? So I think transitioning is a really good idea. They're my sort of two if you're going to be a flower farmer. If you are one, then you've got to be really, really analytical. So you've got to, how many stems did I get off that plant and what am I selling them to, for whom, and not grow what you like. So you've got to grow for different markets. I mean, we've got florists in London who do big corporate things and big homes in Kensington, and they don't want a pink or white or pastel insight. It's more about bright, big homes, big sort of
contemporary sort of abstract colours.
Abstract colours. Really like.
Yeah.
I mean, their favourite colour is orange.
Which is what you would
Definitely not
hate.
grow.
Yeah.
So I think you've got to. So if that's your market, that's what you grow for.
Yeah.
And then if you have weddings, then obviously it's pinks and greens and pastels and much more muted, with a few brights but not many. So you've got to really know who you're selling to.
You ask them a lot, don't
Yeah.
you, what they want, what the colours are, what the trends are, what is it that they're going to want. I mean, it's hard for them to know what they want next year, I guess, really, but to try and get an idea, isn't it?
I mean, when I ordered the 52,000 tulips, which are coming in September, I did ask the wholesale market that we supply, okay, what do you want next year? And I gave them the varieties we're going to grow, because I need to know when I put them in the ground that I've sold them.
Yeah.
And they want orange. They want Disneyland Paris. They want, all the orange varieties, which for most people is like, whoa, I wouldn't want orange. I want pinks and whites. So you've got to watch your market. You've got to know your market and know when you put it in the ground, you sold it.
Yeah. So it's been a year since we've been working
I
together.
know.
Can you believe?
Have I put up with you? I was just going to say, have you put up with me? But
I think it's me putting up with you.
Cheeky monkey. No, I think...
I think it
Do you
is.
think it's been nearly a year? Gosh.
I know.
Wow.
It was. This time last week, it's actually just gone over a year and we didn't even realise.
No,
But
we didn't have our first... No,
we didn't
happy
have. We haven't had a
birthday.
cake.
We've had no
need
cake,
to
no
sort it
birthday
out.
party, no balloons.
No.
No.
It's because we've just been getting on with it as
Working
usual.
away.
But it's funny, isn't it? A whole year has gone round, and in that year, so much has
I know.
happened.
I don't want to know where
I
to
mean,
begin.
well, you keep saying it's my fault, like I'm a bad omen, but I think it's the other way around.
It's been an interesting year, that's all I'll say.
It has. Ever since I've known you, you've been ill.
I know.
Literally, since pretty much the day I walked through the door,
Yeah,
you've ended up having something going on.
yeah.
But what's that been like, really?
So in November, obviously, I had a knee replacement of a replacement. That was our major operation in London. Major operation. And it did mean 2 weeks in hospital, and it was fairly life-threatening in the end.
Yeah,
So that was
because
a bit...
originally you went in and you were like, by tomorrow I'll be messaging you, it'll be fine. I hadn't heard from you for days and we were all starting to panic. And then I thought, am I just keeping Roz alive on social media?
Is she dead? Yes. Mm.
Yeah, well,
Nearly.
basically,
Yeah.
was what was going on behind the scenes, wasn't it? And I don't think people really knew that.
No.
Not at the time,
Not at the
especially.
time,
Not
so-
that. I mean, we said it was a knee operation, but it was quite major, and then it ended up being really major.
Yeah, I think 3 or 4 days in intensive care post-operation was a bit scary. I don't remember much about it, but my family do. And then 2 weeks in hospital, wasn't it? Which are
Yeah.
various different things going on. And then another operation in December because I had to break my leg to get my knee out, so I had to have another operation in December. So it was pretty tough the end of last year,
Yeah.
and then it got tougher.
Yeah, because you were like, it's fine, it's the quiet bit of the year, there's no flowers, it's the less strenuous bit, it's fine, it's well planned, by Christmas, that'll be fine.
That'd be fine.
How did that go?
Yes. So in January, I decided I had found a lump in my breast. So I decided, I've gone lots and lots of times before over the years, and I'm really sort of nonchalant about the whole thing. So I thought, oh, here we go again. So off I take myself to the doctors, and he said, I'm not sure, but I'll send you off to the hospital. Okay, we'll go off to the hospital. Really like nonchalant, and off I go. And I have a mammogram, and then I have an ultrasound, and I have a biopsy. And I think, I've been here before. She starts to explain the machines, the biopsy. And I said, I've done that before. She says, oh, you're really chilled, and you seem really positive energy. And I went, yeah, we're here again. And
But I think that's good, though, that you have that attitude and that you were going anyway as a routine.
I was going as a routine.
Yeah.
And then they said, actually, it's not what you've come for, it's for something else. We found something else. So it was a bit like somebody out there had sent me, if I was really honest. Because they found another lump somewhere else, which I couldn't feel, and neither could they, which was a little bit scary. And then they said, this is really aggressive. And I don't think it'd been there that long, because I'd had a mammogram before that, not before, so it grown really quickly. And then when they took all the biopsy, I looked and I thought, they know something. I've been down this road before, and I know she doesn't look very confident.
You said straight away
I
then,
knew.
you said you knew.
And everyone go, no, you don't know. You go, yep, I do. So 2 weeks later, I walked in and said, I've got cancer, so where am I and what are we going to do about it? I think that shocked them. But I went on my own, and I was ready to just get the news, really. And actually, you were here at that time. You were at my house.
Yeah,
So
I
then
was
I thought, oh my God, I've got
waiting
to
for you to come back.
come home.
What's going on? Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a bit of a shock. And then my
It
two
was.
children arrived. My husband rang my two children, and they arrived. And I think we took it very lightly, didn't we? We did have a laugh and a couple of bottles of wine, and we thought, okay, what next?
Yeah, I think it was the best way to deal with it at the time.
100%.
Yeah. Because you don't really know what to do, what
No,
to say, what
no.
to think.
No, and you have no knowledge of what's coming, really.
No, I mean, you did kind of say, didn't you? You said at this point, we don't know what we don't know.
No.
When we know, when we've got a plan, we can deal with it. But right now, there's nothing more we can do except kind of
Have another
take it
glass
for
of
what
wine.
it is and have another glass of wine, exactly. So we did.
So we did. And your children handled it very differently, and that was interesting. So it was also an experiment. And I was due to go to the Maldives 2 days later,
Oh, yeah, forgot about that.
which we booked a year before for our 30th wedding anniversary. And we'd saved for a year for this holiday because it was really lovely. And I never really told anyone I was going because I felt a little bit like, not sure, going to Maldives for 2 weeks. But anyway, we went, and it was the best thing we did. And we had the most magnificent holiday in the Maldives. And people said, well, did you forget that you've got breast cancer when you were sitting on the beach in the Maldives? And the answer is yes, I did. I was in the middle of nowhere enjoying paradise, to be honest.
And you were in
before-
that gap where you
Yeah.
didn't know what was going on, what was the plan going to be. So all you could do was sit and wait. So I think it was better to be sitting and waiting there.
I know,
Definitely.
absolutely. Yeah.
Than be sat here worrying at home.
Yeah, so that was the answer really. And 2 weeks later, so that was middle of February by then. So by the time we got to the end of February, we were operated on in March, beginning of March. And then it all happened from there onwards. So yeah, it's been a journey because we're now in nearly the end of July. Gosh, how I went from March to July, I have no idea.
Just skip that bit. That was fine, was it?
It was
that bit?
It was fine.
All the chemo. and
All the
everything,
chemo,
yeah, that was
no,
fine, was it?
no, it definitely wasn't. It's all I'll say to everybody, and I'm always completely honest if anybody ever asks me, is that it's tough but it's doable. And a lot of it is about positivity, for sure, surrounding yourself by positivity and not using Dr. Google and not going down a rabbit hole and not looking at every single side effect of every single drug because you're not going to get all of them. I mean, you'd never look at the side effects of paracetamol because if you did, you'd never take it. So I think there is, I've had 3 lots of very heavy chemo called EC, and I remember it's called EC because that's my daughter's initials. And it made me poorly for about 3 to 7 days, depending. So I had 3 lots of that every 3 weeks. And now I'm into, then they decided they'd give me a drug once a week for 12 weeks, another chemo drug. And I had my first one last Thursday, but I was allergic to it. And I ended up with some very strange reactions. I had a bright red face that looked like I'd been in the sun. I came down in the morning, my husband said to me, "What's happened?" And I was hot, and it was really odd. And so I found the clinic and come in, and you're allergic to it. So that was a little bump in the road. But again, we've resolved it, and we're back to plan B, and we're going to have the same drug but in a different format. And we're actually not going to have it weekly. We're going to have it every 3 weeks, so I get a bit of my life back. But, this is a journey. This is a journey that you go down, and it's going to be a year. They've made my appointment for the 1st of April 2025 as my sign-off appointment. So I kind of know I'm in for the long haul. But actually, we're nearly in August.
Yeah, actually, before we know it, a lot of time has passed.
Yeah.
Since that initial diagnosis moment.
Yeah, and we're going to be ringing the bell like there's no bell to be rung.
Yeah.
And then,
at the rate we go, it'll be next year tomorrow. So.
I know. And to be honest, I've carried on working. I'm
Yeah,
really,
you have.
really fortunate. I've got a whole team around me. For those few days you don't feel great, well, you sit on the sofa with your laptop. And the rest of the time,
Those are the days I dread.
yeah,
So
because
I get
I
a
come
lot
up
of
with ideas.
emails.
They're my idea days. I actually, honestly, I've worked more on the business than in the business on this time, and it's taught me a lot. I mean, I thought I really worked on the business a lot anyway. Oh no, I don't anywhere near what I should. So if
You
you
spend so much time
can't
in
do
the
it,
business,
you're
don't
out
you?
there
That's
going,
the
"Oh,
thing.
shall I pick today? And let's see if the team are all right, and let's go out and have a look at those anti-rhinums and us support." Okay, actually, you need to be thinking, where am I selling? What am I doing next year? Where am I planting? What courses am I launching? How am I, where's my membership? What are the numbers looking like? Let's look at the analytics of my website. All the stuff you don't do. Oh, and your accounts, which I'm really bad at and still haven't done, because you leave that to the bottom of the pile. They'll get done someday. And so I think, you work on the business, which is what I'm not very good at. So that's been really good. And I started to write a book on the breast cancer journey called Don't Listen to Everyone, because I can tell you there is so much toxicity out there. And if you join a Facebook group, oh my goodness, it's going to scare the life out of you. Because I have to say, this is a journey in steps. And if you know step 5 before you've taken step 1, you'd be terrified. So that's why your consultant doesn't give it to you, doesn't tell you everything that's going to happen, because you can just take it in bite-sized chunks. And I just think, don't Dr. Google, because you're going to get it all.
And you have so much random advice
Oh
from
my
people as
God.
well, haven't you?
It's
Which
not-
people mean well. You've had so
Yeah.
many messages, obviously, of positivity and lovely, just well wishes, but you've also had a lot of don't eat this, do eat that, don't do this, put this cream on, like everything,
Oh, yeah,
haven't
drink
you?
this green
All
tea.
kinds of random
Random.
things, which a lot of it's myths and things that other people have Googled or things
Yeah.
that their friend told them and all of that, and it just gets a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, I really, really think you're going to have to sift through it all. And 1 in 2 of us are going to end up with cancer, which is horrendous. The figures are horrendous if you look at them. And so that's 50% of the population, which I find particularly frightening. I've got 2 children, so is that one of them? And I think we all really need to, work out why this is all happening. I've got my own theories, having read a lot, sitting on my sofa. I have become a believer in what you eat, and I have microplastics and using it in our houses and in our makeup. And what are we doing? What are we doing about processed food? Are we all being fed by massive giants about what we eat? Yes, for sure. So I've made
Oh
Tom
God, I knew
in the
this
Sip
was
and
coming.
So podcast drink kombucha.
I said we need something to sip, and she said, "Don't worry, I've got these in the fridge."
I like it.
So what are the
Tom
health
likes
benefits? of
Diet
this?
Coke. I mean, come on, please.
No, full fat Coke.
Full,
no
yeah,
diet
even
rubbish.
worse. Well, actually, I think full fat's probably better.
Red, full of sugar.
Yeah, full of sugar. Actually, I'm going to weigh out how much sugar's in one of those.
Oh, it's probably like a whole bag,
I know,
to be honest.
it probably is, because my husband got to this point of weighing out how much sugar was everything. And actually, if you weigh it out, it's really, really frightening, because they say we should only have 30 grams of sugar a day. I reckon in that Coke you've got 30 grams worth of sugar. Shall we work it out?
Probably, yeah. There probably is at least that, I would think.
So this is the answer.
Okay,
in Sip
so
and
tell me
Sow,
about this then.
kombucha is a live cultured drink. So this is going to put all the microbes back in your tummy to deal with everyday living. This has no calories in it. It has, oh look, of which sugar? Naught.
Okay.
So it has no sugar in
Not
it.
sure how I feel about that.
It has raw kombucha, it has water, it has black tea leaves, green tea leaves, you know, the kombucha culture, flavoured enhancers, natural raspberry flavour, lemon juice. That's it. That's it in here, right? So this, by Remedy, is the best one on the shelves. I've tried a few. Actually, I like it. I think you're not giving it a chance.
It is actually, I'm going to admit, it's not that bad. I know that's not a glowing review, but it is, once you get over the initial vinegary sort of pre-taste,
Oh, I don't think.
then
I said
it's
to
fine.
you, when you said it was
After that.
vinegar, I said to you, the reason why you can taste vinegar is because you really need it.
Because I need vinegar.
No, you need the
Oh,
sort
I
of.
need this drink.
Yeah, because the acid will turn into alkaline in your stomach.
Okay, well, I'm going to try it and see how I feel.
Yeah, I think
How many
so.
have I got to drink before I notice the
10.
difference? 10.
Yeah, there's loads in the
Okay.
fridge, don't you worry.
Okay, great.
Loads of different flavours. You'll be fine.
I'll try them all then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have learnt a lot about while I've been on my journey, and I'm just doing some really simple things. I'm reducing sugar in my diet. We should all do that anyway. I'm having much more savoury food and less sugary stuff. No Cokes, Diet Cokes. I'm not drinking alcohol at the moment. That's not to say I won't forever. But obviously when so much toxicity is going in your body couldn't cope with anymore. So it's like, you know, while your body's dealing with chemo, it probably wouldn't be a very good idea. So I've been off drinking since we were in the Maldives, which we drank a lot. So yeah, I think there's lots of lessons to learn in this, and probably what's really important to you is probably one of the biggest lessons.
Yeah, so it's been a whole year then of obviously unexpected surprises, but a lot of reflection
Definitely.
and
lots of repositioning, positivity. You know, you can get over this. You know, it's really funny when I first found out and I talked to my friend. Oh, if anyone, and then the most people said to me, if anyone can do this, you can do this. And I kept thinking, well, if I can't. But it was nice that people thought I could. So I am extremely positive, and I kind of think this is a learning journey. And I think, God, I've already been taught so much, and part of me just wish it had come earlier. So then I'd have changed things earlier. But yeah, I think there are things to learn from it for sure.
Yeah. So, looking forward to next year then.
Yes.
What are you going
2025.
to, apart from obviously carrying on some of this, some of these things that you've learned, what are you really excited for next year when it's all out of the way?
Monthly travel for sure. We're going on lots of travels. We had a
Great.
Greek retreat.
Not on a boat again though.
No, we're not going to stay on a boat like we did in Amsterdam. We're going to do some funny things like we did. So I think I want to do Race Across the World, but they've closed their entrance for this year.
Oh, what?
I know. So I have emailed them. I want to do Race Across the World because I think Tom and I would be good at that. So
We would, but the only problem is we'd have to be off our phones for 7 weeks.
Yes, I reckon I could do that.
I think I might have withdrawal
No,
symptoms.
I think you'd be fine. So I think we'd like to do Race Across the World. That would be
Yeah, we
fun.
would. It
And
would
I
be really
think that
fun.
would be fun. And I think we've applied to do Gardener's World, haven't we? To do a cut flower garden in Gardener's World.
Yeah.
That would be fun. Obviously all the shows for sure. I'll be back out doing lots of those. More growing, more strategic planning for sure, and more holidays for sure. We'll do some retreats and we'll go away at least once a month.
Yeah, we've kind of had to hold back a little bit this year with
Yeah.
everything, haven't we? Because we posted the idea of doing that Greek retreat, didn't we? The Greek getaway, because we had this idea, and then loads of people
Oh,
said
was it?
they wanted to come, and then we were like, oh, actually, we
Actually-
really shouldn't be travelling this year
No,
with everything going
no.
on, and we should really plan this other than just having the idea. So,
So
we
we
are going
are
to make it happen for next
Definitely.
year.
So next year's lots of fun.
Yes.
Lots of business stuff going on.
Oh, do we have to do that
Yeah,
bit?
we have to do
Oh,
that.
okay.
Afraid so.
Can't just do the fun.
No,
bit.
it can't
Oh.
just. But there'll be loads of fun for
Yeah.
sure. I'm going to have the most massive party when this is over on the 1st of April, which I'm already planning. So that's like the end of cancer party. Because as my husband reminds me every day, I don't have cancer anymore, which is right because it's not there anymore. He says what they're doing now is an insurance policy, Roz. You do not have cancer. So when I say I have cancer, he tells me off because I don't. So we will have a big party on the 1st of April, probably into May, probably. Yeah, I'm really positive about 2025, because 2024, maybe that's a year you want to write off.
It's the year that's tested you.
100%.
But look how much you've learnt from it.
Oh, a massive amount, in loads of different ways. And I've learned a lot in the business, actually. And people would say to me, have you done as much this year? And I would say, is this going to be the most profitable year I've ever had? So, in a world where you think that wouldn't be possible, it is possible, because I've built a business which, it can carry on, and which I'm really proud of, and the team I'm really proud of.
Carry on without you.
Maybe not. Yes, it could. Yeah, certainly the growing could carry on without me. It would need a farm manager probably, but it probably could. And a lot of what goes on.
Yeah, it just needs a brain behind it.
Yeah, a brain, some leadership, some planning, and it needs a fantastic team, which I've definitely got. And we're doing weddings, we're doing farewell flowers. I'm driving into London and dropping off a wholesale that I've never done as much volume as I'm doing this year. We've got subscription buckets. We're doing courses here on the farm. There's a lot going on, and I have to say that's kept me going. I think 100%.
So it's not been a total write-off 2024
Oh
then
gosh,
at all?
No. I think we've done more this year than we've certainly grown loads more. We've sold loads more, and it will be the most profitable year we've ever had.
Right, well, we better go and do something then, hadn't we? Better pick some flowers.
I thought we need to do some deadheading, actually. Are you up for a bit of deadheading?
Okay, fine.
He's got to get him working while he's here.
I know, you work me hard when I come here.
Those roses need deadheading.
Right, okay, let's get on that then. I'm not drinking any more of this kombucha though, sorry.
It's lovely. I'm going to take all the Coke away from him. I am actually going to weigh out how much sugar's in that Coke. Would it put you off?
No.
Please help him. He needs help.
I do, I know. I should learn from your lessons, to be honest.
I'm trying.
I should really sort of learn through you.
To be healthy eating?
To be healthy eating, yeah. I think the problem is I just love that you've been able to hear one of mine and Ross's conversations, because literally that is what it's like. We just chat, we have a laugh, we have a giggle, we talk about all the things that mean a lot to us, and well, you can probably see why we get on so well. So I'm glad that I've been able to let you in a little bit on our beautiful friendship. And I'm standing here now at the end of this episode in the verbena patch, which is what initially made Roz go viral for the first time. And yeah, I'm just glad that you've been able to hear it. So thanks for listening, as always, and I'll see you again next week for another episode of the Sip and Sew podcast. Enjoy your week.